In this video, I'm building a Tesla coil based upon Steve Ward's and Eastern Voltage Research's design. I actually have a 10-inch, 4.5 diameter secondary coil in the middle there, and I actually want to make a 12-inch coil to get the right specs. And then the primary is going to be 6 to 7 turns of 1/4-inch copper tubing, 8-inch diameter, and then I have a strike rail, and I have a half bridge of mini bricks, 60M60s, and then here's my cap bank right there. So it's so basically the driver part of the Tesla coil has been set up, and the logic part of the circuitry is a modified Steve Ward driver that I obtained from Lone Oceans. Those are great drivers, definitely worth an investment. And then the snubber caps and everything else are in there. So I wanted to just try and figure out what the resonance frequency of the secondary coil would be when it's mounted in the setup. And ideally this should be running at 100 kilohertz if it was a 12-inch secondary. And I have a 10-inch secondary. The diameter of the top load is approximately 14 inches. And then I've made a 4-foot piece, I've attached a 4-foot piece of wire to act as a simulated spark, which drops the frequency of the whole setup. And I'm using a signal generator, and you can see the frequency on the signal generator is 156 kilohertz, and that correlates well with what I'm seeing on the oscilloscope. And I'm using just a single piece of wire connected to the oscilloscope. The other end of the oscilloscope is not connected, to pick up the RF from the secondary coil. So I'm going to tune it more. Ideally, I just tuned it a little bit. Let's see if I can make it even better. You can change the way this looks. You can change the sensitivity a little bit to help you to tune it even better. Let's do that. So it's really around 156 kilohertz. And I want to show you just how important environmental factors are. So if I put my hand near to the coil, let's see what happens. So and I'll just stand near the coil, and you can see what a big difference it makes. And in fact, when I had this whole setup sitting on top of the table, it was at least, the resonant frequency was at least 20 kilohertz higher. It was more like 176. So just having it on the ground has dropped its resonant frequency. So that's really important, where you're going to be using the coil. And is it going to be sitting on the ground, on top of a table, how near it is to walls, and that sort of thing. And you can easily, theoretically, get the resonant frequency of your secondary from Java TC, which is a Tesla coil simulator. So this is where it stands right now, and this is basically a version of the Eastern Voltage Research coil. FlexiBrute 1 is what this would be called. And I've got my primary. I don't know where I'm gonna, I just worked out some numbers of, so you can see 180, 158, 140, or 100. So I'm gonna adjust the frequency of this primary to be about 20% lower than the frequency of the secondary without the wire attached. That way I should be able to get some good spark growth. So that's it basically. That's how I tune these coils. And I find that Java TC is great, but if you want to be even more accurate, do direct empirical measurements like this. And make sure that you take location into account. So ground versus tabletop, how big your toroid is, whether you're going to put a simulated streamer on top like I've done here with this wire, how far you're standing away from it, Anyway, I thought you would find this interesting, especially if you're interested in building a Tesla coil. So guys, thanks for checking in on this, and do hope you come back for more videos. I know I haven't done a video in a while, so I want to try and get some more done now that the winter months are here, and I'll be spending more time in the garage building these things. Peace out, guys, and see you next time.